Okay. We should be live now. I had to restart my computer because once again, Greatest Attorney sometimes decides not to load. And literally nothing I do fixes that. Except for a full PC restart, which is annoying. Okay. It's in. We're good. Zero, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much. It's pro format. When you play it on stream, played it a few hours yesterday before you were crazy. That was my evil twin. Alright? That was not me. Don't tell him about me, okay? I know about him, he doesn't know about me. And it's better that way. Oh, Titanfall's $4 on Steam. Huh. I might not already own it and I don't really feel like playing it again. So I'm good. Anything in here that I care about? Nope. Alright, cool. Alright, everything should be good now. Stream info is updated. Alright, hello. How's it going? I've been doing a lot of Mega Man X Dive offline. I picked it up yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday night, because we talked about it. I was like, is that game out yet? And then Waffle was like, yeah, it is out, actually. And yeah, it literally came out the day before I mentioned it. So funny how that works. And I've been playing that, I played that all Sunday, literally all Sunday. I woke up, I booted up the game, I did not close the game until I went to bed. I played it for 16 hours. It is addictive, it is very fun. It's pretty much just like, you know, a Mega Man game, but you get to play with a whole bunch of kooky little characters. It's great. And it's got no gacha stuff in it. You can just buy whatever characters you want for the resources that you accumulate. So it's real nice if you can just be like, I want this character, instead of having to roll for them. You just get them. It's great. Much nicer. So yeah, I'm pretty close to finishing the story, actually. And if I finish the story, I don't know if I'm going to keep playing or what, but there's a lot of fun characters. I just unlocked a bunch of new ones that I've been playing with that I might fully level up. Rika was cute from what I remember. She's pretty cute. She's decent. The only character in that game that I feel like has like a truly ridiculous level of sexualization is Layer, who I don't even know what game she's from, but like her model is something. Her and one of the unique characters they created for this game. I'm just like, wow, that is a lot. That's a lot. And like, Layer doesn't just have like a base outfit. She's also got like a bunch of different variations because, of course, there's all the seasonal versions of her. So yeah, it's pretty brutal. Anyways. Let me double check that my game capture is using the right... Yeah, it is using Crossfire Capture. Perfect. All right. Well, last we left off in this, our boy died. Our man, Gregson, is no longer with us, which fucking sucks. I liked Gregson. And, apparently Barrick Van Zeeks is responsible. Or maybe he's not. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Anyways, keep playing. But yeah, the Mega Man X Dive offline, pretty fun. For $40, I feel like I'm definitely gonna get my money's worth. Oh, and before I forget, I will not be streaming tomorrow because I have to be at my uncle's place at like 7:45 the next day. So I have to get all of this stuff packed before that, and like into my car. So I will not be streaming tomorrow, but we will still be streaming if everything goes well. I'm hoping there's no issues with transporting all of this. But if everything goes well, we should be able to stream while I'm there, which would be ideal. The only thing I'm concerned about is all the cables that I have to bring, but they're all plugged into the same giant power bar. I have like a 40 outlet power bar. And so my plan is I'm just going to unplug that and unplug all of the things from where they go into and then just take that. instead of having to mix and match cables. Anyways, I hate platforming gates. They're interesting. Anyways, 2nd of November, 8:56 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. There's that old familiar feeling again. The crushing pressure of this historic courthouse. Actually, no, it's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air. Is it Barrick Van Zeeks fucking staring daggers at you? There is a menacing tension in the air here today, isn't there? I suppose. Yes, I think so. It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant. A little more courtesy, if you please. Oh my, I do apologize. However, you're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary. What do you mean? I'm not privy to the details. However, I understand that no jury has been selected. Oh. I mean, that's great. That's 6 less characters I have to voice. And that's tremendous. That makes me so happy. I can't wait to see how this results in somehow even more characters I have to voice. A trial without a jury? Oh, well that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago. A closed court. Good. Good morning, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes. Keep missing a single jump. I feel ya. Have you made note of my hair, Mr. Naruhodo? An outright victory for science, you must agree. To be perfectly honest, much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. Ha! What to one man is a little hair problem? Is to another a day of drinking dubious potion after dubious potion. You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning. I'm going to shit my pants. Oh dear, how awful for you. I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Sholmes. And good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim. No vigor, though. Just vim. And I see London's celebrated great detective is as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow, compared to my paltry engagements with a few trivial cases. The Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which I would readily commend you. What an honor. And that would be? Your eye for a good lawyer, sir. Mr. Sholmes. After all, he is my boyfriend. Behind this lawyer there is a very great mind. My own. What are you trying to say? I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper. Sorry to barge in. Oh, right. Hello. Gina! What's that on her arm? It's a mourning band, I suppose. A mourning band? What the hell is that? I mean, I can guess based on the context, but... Huh. Got Dancer Buff and Dunscath run today, and it felt nice by me being a bar and there are other DPS that do more damage in my party. Hey, you know what? Sometimes the range DPS gotta look out for each other, alright? I feel like I'm too far to the left, but I'm really not. Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium? It's been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. I'm legally obligated to give them a commendation. Hey, you can send that commendation wherever you like. There's no rules. I shall be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. But there are some fruits to see. Oh no. Oh, yes, Gina? Why'd you agree to this, eh? Why'd you take him on? This Reaper bloke? Everyone says it was him what killed the boss. I'm sorry, Gina. But I just don't believe that. Well, if it weren't him, who was it? I don't know that yet. I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. And if it turns out you was him or what killed the boss, then God help him. I'm standing right here. Fiery eyes indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing. Eh? At least that may be some solace to the deceased. Please, Odo. Get whoever did this. For the boss. Oh, Gina. I ain't feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. So you've got to find who done this and make the wretch pay. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court will be in session shortly. Make your way into the courtroom at once, please. Alright then, here we go. Poor kid, yeah, she's had a rough fucking go. In like 1 year, so much has happened to Gina. It's absurd. It's time, Mr. Naruto. Lord Van Zeeks. Thought there would be more to that sentence, so I kind of said it weird. One who lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution. All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. In the second to last case. There will be more. And whatever truth is revealed, going to have to look it straight in the eye. I feel like there's going to be a fucking gigantic plot twist coming. Especially in regards to this professor case. Also, I should mention, before I forget, because I was looking at my Gunpla, I probably will not be streaming Gunpla on Saturday that week. Because I don't think I'll have the desk space to do it. Like, I just don't think I'll be able to make the setup work at my uncle's place. So, yeah, probably not going to be able to do that. So we'll find something else to do. We'll play just a game or whatever. Or if it comes down to it, I might be able to do it depending on what it looks like over there. But I don't think I'm going to do the GC hunting log, just be able to buy glamour prisms from the GC store. Oh yeah, I guess that's your best way of doing it. Driving a built Gunpla does not seem like a fun time. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get very much progress on it. It would only be for 1 day. So, it would just be transporting the box, which is not a big deal. But I just don't think, I just don't think I can get like the camera there, and I don't think I have the desk space. So, I'm not going to bother. And then if a part falls out of the box, you're fucked. Well, yeah. If I'm really, really extremely, sloppy with it. I mean, I have all the parts that are cut out in a Ziploc bag inside the box. So, the chances of that happening is extremely low. But, yeah, you are right. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct the fair and just trial of the defendant, Merrick Von Zeeks. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin? The defense is ready, my lord. The prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazama-sama. I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long, it feels... Oh, it feels. I thought there would be more of that sentence again. But I never pictured it happening like this. I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench. The so-called Reaper of the Barely has been a scourge like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today, we must uncover the truth behind this scourge. In other words, this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder. Okay, wow, we're wrapping up a lot then. The truth revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions throughout the judiciary. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present. By Her Majesty's direct orders. How will that work, my lord? The burden of all arbitration and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, the juror's bench shall remain vacant today.
If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord?
There are members of the judiciary here to witness proceedings and ensure an equitable trial. Members of the judiciary?
Oh my, this is a very unusual trial already. I guess they just really didn't want to have to change the model and the texture behind us, so they had to explain it somehow.
There's of course another unprecedented aspect to these proceedings on which I must elaborate. The counsels for the prosecution and the defense are both aliens of Great Britain. Oh yeah, I didn't even consider that, but yeah, that's kind of important. I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain. This is the reason why I had come to Britain. I had to come to Britain. Azuma? Very well, let us commence proceedings. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please. Certainly, my lord. The incident took place on 1st November at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Do we do everything on scrolls here? It's just really also, like, there are some drawings on this, like, oh, wow. I mean, is this you, Rinos? Like, this is very flattering. The location was a building of flats on Fresno Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property. Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, a name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of this country's grimmest cases 10 years ago. The Professor case? Was he part of that? Why do I have so many naked pictures of you, Rinosuke? I didn't commission these ones. These are new to me. This is a different artist.
The Professor case.
How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot, and all have reported the same time. Yes, that's what Jean has told us too. There were a number of witnesses. I'm confiscating them for research. I need to give them to my regular artist so he can do some learning. I have here a plan of the room. The victim was found curled up in one corner. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly. The died instantly part I feel like is going to come up. How was the range been determined? There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range. I see, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Counsel. Okay. How much evidence do we have right now? I feel like we have quite a bit already. Yeah, we got a page and a half. The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim. And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm? No, my lord. Not conclusively.
Bravo, Kazuma-sama. We're not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven.
Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There was a candelabrum mounted on that wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile.
We noticed that too, didn't we?
Yes, that's right. Oh, something I should check here. Do I have that candelabrum? I do. Hang on, let me look at this. I feel like the position of these candles, of these two being lit and burned down, and this one clearly being taller before it was blown off, is definitely going to come up. I feel like that's for sure going to pop up. I'm going to examine that just in case. Ah, there's some black marks here, look.
Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks.
Perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? Only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems.
Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them.
Yeah, I think the position of those is going to come up for sure. Okay.
Thank you for the thorough report, Counsel. The setting of the crime is clear to me. You will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please.
As you wish, my lord. Okay.
Is this Fresno Street room Inspector Gregson's private abode?
No, my lord. The room is rented to a Mr. Hugh Boone. But there is precious little furniture inside, and it is generally in a poor state of repair. So what on earth was Gregson even doing there?
Presumably he was investigating some case or other.
When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witnesses and rushed to the scene, he found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside, holding the revolver. Yikes. Not a good look, man. Why is it always that when defendants in Ace Attorney are at the crime scene, they're always caught holding the weapon? Every time. What was this orgy room? It was a kink gone wrong. That explains all of it. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot.
Oh, the details of the case are clear.
In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness.
Our name, please, Counsel.
Naturally, the accused himself. Fuck me, already? Lord Van Zieks. As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken, and will be compelled to tell the truth.
Very well. Let the defendant take the witness stand.
Which is apparently something that, like, never happens in actual courtrooms. So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Beric Van Zieks, Old Bailey prosecutor.
I presume, Lord Van Zieks, that you heard Prosecutor Asogi's opening precis. Or precis. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I did.
It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this?
Yes, my lord. And I'm sure the court would like to hear your explanations, hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question, and what exactly took place. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth.
I must say, Lord Van Zieks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come. But since you became known as the Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. Your formal testimony then, witness.
Alright, buddy. What the hell were you doing? The facts of the incident. I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside, and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open, and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Okay. That testimony was the whole truth. It was. So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right, you haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Asogi. Yeah, the classic AA. Oh, look, a gun! Let me just get all my fluids all over this. All my fingerprints and identifying biological markers. Uh-oh, whoops. I'm wanted for murder. How did that happen? Eehee.
It would appear to be a singular tale indeed.
Singular isn't the word, it's laughable. He's got into Kazuma. Not behaving like himself at all.
Very well then. Now, sir, you may begin the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Okay. Don't know. I don't think there's any contradictions here. So I'm probably gonna have to press something. Open or demand screen. Slowly then the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Probably because it was dark inside. Kind of a weird thing to be like, it just appeared in front of you? That's fucking how darkness works. I might buy FF14 this month, maybe, possibly. Ooh, nice. I will probably buy Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know if I want to pick up Ace Combat 6 right away. I think I might wait for it to go on sale. I do want to play it, but I don't want to play it that badly. But I do want to play Baldur's Gate 3, like, soon. Probably won't stream it, though. That'll probably be an off-stream thing. Okay, what were you investigating for? We're investigating the inspector. What on earth for? I'm not at liberty to say. Sorry? I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed.
Is the court to understand, then, that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene?
No, I was privy to his movements in advance. How? I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office. In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense.
As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord Van Zieks?
I was aware of the possible consequences. So, in summary, you were investigating the victim. And yet, you refused to tell the court why. I didn't realize British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Did I ever think I could defend this man? Okay. It was dark inside. Had you ever been to the address before? No, never. I only learnt of the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything. But at 5 p.m. the sun would only just have gone down. It would still have been reasonably light outside. The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside. I wouldn't have noticed if the victim was already lying on the floor. There was no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that the part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain.
Look, Miss Naruto. There was a small desk in the room just here.
Yes, I remember. And there was an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph. Okay, but he was right by the candelabra, so was it lit? When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started towards the desk to investigate. What did you find? Nothing. I never actually reached the desk. Saw a revolver on the floor, but nobody was there? That's sus. That's suspicious. So, who fired the gun? Excuse me. I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room. Did you say it was very dark in there? Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence. Aha! Then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room? No, that's out of the question. Oh. Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. Going from bad to worse. And you say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor. Correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part.
Presumably then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took into your hands.
In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not.
What?
The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder.
But then, one of them's the gun that was fired.
Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I too would dearly like to know that. Thinking about using my free Fantasia to turn into a submissive bun bun, but the min height is like 5'7", and it only really it's people 5'4" max. Just Fantasia into something that reflects your true mental height, which is a Lalafell. Okay. A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume? That's right, one of the street merchants working on Fresno Street. Catboy's near perfect height, just a bit taller than me. Yeah, I'm just talking about your mental height. Mentally, you are 3 feet tall, at most.
Who are these merchants?
A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. Is that how peddler is spelled? I don't think that's correct unless it's an old spelling. Isn't peddler P-E-D-D-E-L-R? Mentally, I'm not even a person, I'm a footrest. Okay, fair. They've all given statements saying that they heard the gunshot. And without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened.
Yes, Gina's told us about that yesterday, didn't she?
They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. They did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process. It's a valid variant of the word? Oh, okay. Maybe like British spelling. But you're supposed to be the Reaper. The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion. British English, yeah, okay. Makes sense. And was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction.
Hold it!
Okay. What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear? I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point, and then suddenly, there it was. Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came inside first. Nothing more. I see. After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson.
Most curious circumstances indeed.
How the inspector was killed or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea.
Objection!
Oh boy. Ow, surely the court has heard enough. That's exactly what I thought this case was. I just have to press until they progress. My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused, Barrick Van Zeeks, is lying on multiple fronts. Oh, this is a new song. Oh, it's... I think the first notes of that were a theme we'd already heard, but it was in minor key? Maybe even Kazuma's theme. That's good writing. That's good musical design. What is that supposed to mean?
Good gracious, counsel. The defendant is lying, you say?
In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. That's correct. No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? Oh yeah, it is his theme, but in minor key. That's good. I like that. If you examine the tip of a long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact.
I would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle.
The problem comes when you consider the other two candles. Oh, fuck. The thing I pointed out? He's using my contradiction? Shit. When you consider the other two candles, which are clearly of a different length.
Yes, I can see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long.
We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together, which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah! That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles would still have been burning. So the fact is... Ow! The victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused claimed that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts those facts. And now to the next lie. Jesus Christ. This is even my fucking trial. Fucking Kazuma's going off here. There's more? The accused also claims that he never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. Hello, Toaster. Good morning. Or morning, as you spelt it. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings.
Yes, that's right. We saw it too.
It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they included a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? Starting to sound familiar. And there was a common thread linking all of the documents on that board.
Indeed? What is this common thread, Counsel?
They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Barak von Zieks. All of them? And furthermore, all of those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted.
Good Lord!
Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Ah.
Oh no.
Ow. In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout and his base of operations. The Reaper's hideout? And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout. No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards.
Backwards? Explain, Counsel.
Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine. By the Reaper's hand. What? What? Alright, cool. I have no way to refute this. I'm fucked.
Order! 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 Very well, I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Barak von Zieks is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with prosecutor Asogi's contention that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts.
All I have done is state the truth as I know it. Kazuma's done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable. If Van Zieks is the killer, you got the better killer name out of him and his brother. Oh yeah, Barak. Way better murderer name than Clint.
Counsel, submit the board that you just showed the court as evidence. I believe it to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounded by the Reaper's existence.
Thank you, my lord. Yeah, definitely gonna have to investigate that. And now the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question.
They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember.
Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room. Have I ever seen that nod animation before? That looked new. And also unnecessary.
Very well, lead the witnesses in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand.
Certainly, my lord. Alright, what new chuckle fucks do I have to voice? Oh my... Oh, not this guy again. For fuck's sake. Ah, jeez. That's from the first game. Alright, before I start this, let me take a look at this. I fucking knew there'd be something on the back. Hey, Doppel. I returned. Was that the cab driver? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the cab driver from the first game. He's back.
Oh, what's this? It's Naruhodo, look!
Oh, yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, looks just like a handprint.
And the color. That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing.
Yep. How's it going, everybody? Is there anything up here? I guess I can just examine the full thing.
There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there?
This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age, look.
Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here.
Oh, the same Red-Headed League advertisement that Mr. Sholmes had picked out. The lovely witness last time in the trial with McGilded. Yeah, that was the second trial. No, third trial of the game. I always forget that whole, like, the first part of Greatest Attorney 1 feels like one big beginning piece. The McGilded trial feels like the beginning of the game, but it was literally halfway through.
And you remember, there was a red hair piece at the scene, too.
Inspector Gregson, an exponent of the Red-Headed League, then? Okay, that's it. I don't remember his voice, but I'm pretty sure it was just an old man voice. So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Also, what is happening here? Like, see a doctor. Like, that's not normal. Jesus Christ. There's Ryu blamed for Iris's dad's death to cause him dying, then McGilded. Yeah. There was a lot that happened in the beginning of that game.
Names? What are yours names? Far too fancy for the likes of us.
We're just free and easy, sell what we like, live where we want to live.
I give them all a vacant stare as they walk down Fresno and spit a few words into a verse for them. Ah. I've been right in assuming that all three of you make a living by selling wares on the street.
Did one of those TikTok challenges? Yeah. She's free and easy, huh? Hey, don't look too much into it.
Hey, everyone calls me gossip. I shall join their
Titbits? I don't think that's correct. Pretty sure it's a D there, not a T.
I shall join their titbits to passers-by, you know?
Also, what's wrong with his neck? Yeah, free and easy she sells on the street. Look, alright. Johnny Little Titbits.
Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up a giddle it is. 6 is the price, not a penny less.
I hate this man. I hate his lip. It's disgusting. Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now?
Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested.
Try the man.
Give her the money and see what it is.
You're the man, counsel.
Alright. 6 it is.
Won't regret it, sir. Now you've got your listening ears on. Just between us, a young couple on Slate Street have just had twins.
Cool. That was like a month's salary. Is that it?
Oh, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? It wants to spread. That's bits up to you and your mouth, of course. I got more, you know. Want another juicy one? 6 a piece it is, if you're curious.
I am curious, yes. But what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours? Give me that unusual bruise or whatever it is that's poking up from under your collar. Okay, good. They do pay attention to that. What about the next witness name? Next witness then. What name do you go by and what do you sell?
Me? I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, innit?
Oh.
I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. 6 pence a pop. What do you say?
That's probably not safe. Oh, okay. Well, we're exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell?
Oh yeah, the second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they can blow up the school.
Okay, fair.
Not the most savory of ideas, young lady.
What you say then, eh? Want a pop with 6 pence a pop?
Or 4 a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one?
Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you can blow up the whole courtroom.
Try the one.
Give her the money and see if she's right.
Pay the woman, counsel.
Alright, I'll buy one.
Lovely stuff. Right then, this is something a bit extra just for you. The Venus Special, only 600 pence.
600?
It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that, is there?
And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey, either. Okay, so this was probably the gunshot.
Pay the woman, buy 100, blow up the courtroom. I want a vacation.
Get me the fuck out of here. Hey, it wouldn't be the first time it's happened in Ace Attorney. Fucking Dual Destinies, is that you? Or poppers, I thought they were M80s, yeah. And the last witness, what name do you go by and what do you sell?
I'm a thinker, me, think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I think.
Why is everyone egging specifically you wanted to buy these things? I don't know. Yeah, and Gina with the smoke grenade. Hey, look, alright? It's my turn with the brain cell, Waffle. I know we keep making the same jokes, but I have the advantage.
Because I stand there on the street watching the world go on about me, they call me the Observator.
Yeah, but old man, everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it.
So, you don't actually sell anything?
A problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and I think what it means. I don't actually sell anything, no. Come to think of it.
My turn for the past week? Yeah, I deserve it. I'm the best. That's the advantage because he has one, but he doesn't have just the one. Yeah, I have other brain cells, but like the one that you should have is also mine. Pity. No more purchases today, please.
Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems.
They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene.
I see, and thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose.
Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witnessed the crime. I feel like I don't know this guy's accent. I feel like he's got some phonetic spelling in this, and I just don't know how it works. I'm just gonna fucking throw my lip out and see what happens.
Well, I'll be making eye short, just between us.
Minister Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw.
What I think is if all what we see is light and shadow, playing with our eyes, is any of it real?
Poor man's British accent. I mean, fucking everything I do in this game is a poor accent.
Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident.
I'm absolutely going to start pitting them against each other. The witness's account.
We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building.
It was less than a minute after the rape had gone inside that we all heard a boot bang.
Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gosh, I couldn't wait to go and see what had happened. I ran into the room and there was the Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body.
I was scared after death, me, so I ran off to find a copper.
I like Venus. She could be fixed, but whatever is going on with her is hotter. Oh boy. If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Beric Van Zieks.
I seen pictures there, Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us folk love stories like this, I've made myself a tidy sum already.
But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied.
Of course they are. They're small, damp, and dirty, and expensive to boot.
The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. I'm normal and not a living embodiment of lust. Objection.
And we know that the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Huge Bone. Hugh Boone, that's what I said.
Testimony the court has just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than defendant could have committed the crime.
No. Thank you for your candor, my lord.
Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses.
Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. Oh, the porch down there is different. I didn't even realize. Which makes sense. Of course it wouldn't be Beric. Yeah, this is a closed trial just because it's apparently... I don't know. I forget the reasoning, but it was pretty much just them being like, it's too dangerous for the public to know about. Saw the whole thing from start to finish. Okay. Right after the Reaper gone inside, that we all heard a big bang. Hey, you sell fireworks. Let's talk about that. Unlike the Professor trial, yes. By which presumably you mean the gunshot.
I sell these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it?
And you say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here enter the building.
That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang, it went. Just like that.
Well, he's the Reaper, isn't he? It's what the French call a fait accompli. And the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it?
I think we get the message. The Reaper couldn't allow the inspector to live after he discovered his secret hideout. Gunshots sound distinctly not like a firework. I mean, it depends on the size of the firework. Some of them do. There can be no clearer motive for the crime.
Yes. It's certainly an eminently credible motive.
Right. And at that point, you ran inside. Is that correct? Quick to talk is quick to walk.
Hold it!
Okay. So, when Gossip ran to see what had happened, did you go too?
Well, me, I'm a bit hampered, see? All the signs are that I can't move very well.
You were way behind, presumably, with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign in your hand. What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before?
No, I'm not anybody, me. The signs are what make me who I am now. I signed, therefore I am.
So, you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago, then? Fucking just look at him shake.
No!
I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling is intensified, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot.
Turn down King Angry Street and the Black Widower's Arms is just there.
Oh dear, you've made him hide behind his sign.
Is he still cold? Apparently he's always cold. Terrible circulation happens when you get older. Life is full of surprises. Oh, wait. Hang on. Not yet. Alright, let's press that. So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right?
That I was. Kicked the door open like a professional, I did. And yelled out, "What's going on here?"
Lord Van Zieks claims all he heard was a man's scream, though.
And was it dark inside the room?
No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall.
Really?
And there was a fella collapsed on the floor. Just between us, it's the first thing I noticed when I got inside.
Ah, I see. Even though Lord Van Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall.
The next thing I noticed was someone standing beside the body.
The accused, Barak Van Zieks.
That's right, the pale-faced weaver himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. I stood my ground and gave that weaver a cold hard stare myself.
Bad migraine right now. I'm gonna call it super early. I hope you feel better. Have a good rest, and hopefully it's gone when by the time you wake up. Was there anybody else in the room at the time?
No, of course not. Not at first. But then this old stiff came wandering along behind me, of course. Only him, mind.
I can't handle stairs so well as you can imagine. Especially on the way up.
And you couldn't have just failed to see someone?
It was a bit dingy in there, I grant you. But there were the candles on the wall and the lamp on the table.
There was nowhere anyone could have been hiding. You marked my eyes.
So you didn't run into the room with your friends.
I'm not that sort of girl.
Sorry?
I'm a timid little thing, me. I was too scared to go in there.
Ah, right. I see.
Oh, Libby and the witch ran in there, and then I heard a sort of lay scream.
Oh, that wasn't me, I swear. If it was a gentleman, I'd stake my honor on it.
I wonder what on earth was going on.
Which is when you went to find a policeman. I love rolling 30s for DC 5 checks. I've been there.
And I ran into a couple as soon as I turned the corner. So I brought them straight back to the place. Didn't I do well, eh?
Just between us, that copper's eyes nearly popped out of his head when he saw the reaper.
I've never felt more uncomfortable in all my life.
And the defendant was arrested on the spot, I believe.
Considering the catalog of killings the Reaper had carried out, it was a particularly inauspicious end. Nothing popped up. I can't find any holes in this testimony.
I'm afraid the judge will give a ruling of guilty, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, I didn't press the first two statements, did I? I think I started on the third. The truth is, though, their combined testimony is fairly damning.
Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any obvious problems with their statements, do there?
Still, Lord Van Zieks really is innocent, and I'm almost certain that we'll find something in there that doesn't quite add up.
You don't think that one of these three could be the true culprit, do you?
I don't know. What I do know is that there's more to this case that is yet to be brought to light. No.
Hold it!
I didn't press this, did I? No, I did not. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zieks.
I suppose so. The likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old reaper that went in last, that's for sure and certain.
It's behind Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other?
No, not at all. The first fellow must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard that gunshot.
The victim arrived 15 minutes before. Are you sure about that?
Am I sure? Am I sure? Does it seem likely that I'd forgotten a fellow with bright red hair like that, does it?
Bingo.
Yeah, his hair really were red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even. That fiery red mop still burnt on the inside of my eyelids, it is.
Wait a minute. You're saying the man was a redhead?
Weren't you listening, chum? Ah, he was a redhead, and he had a big trunk with him as well.
But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. What? Just have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Ah, well. That certainly makes it easy. Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, all right.
And a red hairpiece.
Ah,
Of course. We saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we?
I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that?
The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. Photograph will be submitted as evidence, please, counsel.
Okay. And what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. It just disappeared.
What, do you expect us to be watching the building every second, do you?
You definitely saw him on the dock going in, though. No question about that.
Heard a Big Bang. Okay, hang on. Let's check that photograph. Okay. It's a lot of blood. Also, it looks like he's lit from the front, so the candles behind him aren't lit. I don't know if that's a contradiction, though, or if there's going to be some sort of explanation as to why they put the candles out. Did I press this statement? Pretty sure I did, right? Yeah. Okay. And I think I pressed everything else at this point, right?
Hold it!
Got this as well. I love how violently he shakes here. This as well. Yep, nope, press the statement.
Hold it!
Yeah, okay. Candles burning on the wall. Aha!
Excuse me.
Ow! Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich?
There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am, just 2 slices with no middle. So I don't know what you could want with me.
I think that maybe you just remembered something. Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean.
Or what I think is, we're all nothings really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers.
That's enough out of you, Sandwich. Now keep the trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you all into a real sandwich.
When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside.
That's it?
Oh, you rotten beggar, I told you to keep that a secret.
He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all floors. That's all I wanted to say.
Ow, Mr. Gossip, is this true?
The floor was dead slippery, that's why. Planted my head in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck.
That's where the handprint came from. What? A pool of blood?
Well, listen here, even what I was sprawled on the floor. I still kept giving that Reaper a cold hard stare, and don't you forget it.
Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand?
I did, happens to the best of the times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I sipped over. We can keep it just between us, can't we?
Oh, no, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony.
Oh, if I must.
Our witness would amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once.
Okay. I got blood on my hands, so I quickly wiped it off on the floor, but it wasn't the floor, was it? It was the back of the thing. Impressive anyways, just in case. You wiped your hand on the floor.
Well, who wants blood on his hand, eh? Horrible stuff. And they might have thought I'd done it. Humph, no time.
Hey, you didn't think that might be a problem?
Does it really matter if I left a few grubby handprints on the floor? They'll get cleaned up in the end, won't they? Don't make such a fuss. That's a message from all of us.
There's something wrong, Counsel. You've been staring at that for a while, and I think you have a direction.
No, I don't, my lord. I didn't remember anything in the report about a bloody handprint on the floor, that's all.
Don't come at me with all that. You can't intimidate me. I know what I did. I wiped it off on the floor. The blood.
I wonder, could that be what happened?
Mr. Naruhodo?
I don't have all the answers yet, but I think we may have just uncovered a vital clue. Is this the point where I can present this already? Seems early, but maybe. I mean, we can see the handprint there, so this must have been on the floor like this? Well, that wouldn't make sense, though. All these tacks would be flattened. I'm just gonna present it anyways. Yep, okay. So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that?
Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Does it really matter?
Objection!
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. Oh, what exactly is the defense asserting? If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Rasogi. Ooh, spicy. Certainly there was no bloody handprint found. On the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint and blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board.
Ah, yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood.
Ah, you're dead right. That's my right hand. I'd know it anywhere.
Objection!
Ow. The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection!
Ow! Out of the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the foot. I don't know why I did that voice. I fucking muscle memory. I thought that guy would start talking. Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room to the victim and in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body.
I fell over when I came across the body, so I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room.
In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason.
I take it you formulated a proper hypothesis, Counsel. Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene.
I have, my lord. This discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by... the board moving? Another handprint's not going to get me anywhere. False testimony doesn't seem right. Because the guy was like, yup, that's my handprint. So how did that end up there? So I think the board must have been moved. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down.
Good gracious, so it is. If the witness had put his hand against the board, the finger should be pointing upwards.
What does that tell us? It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested. Which means that after the incident, it must have been moved. What?
Objection.
Ow! Why do I keep doing this? You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Then tell the court who. I don't know that yet. But the point is... when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point.
And that would be...
the position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord.
So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated?
It must have been over here, right? Next to, Gregson.
Take that!
This is the only possible location.
Ideally adjacent to the doorway.
If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark, and he couldn't see the body.
Why, heck!
If the notice board had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view. The light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker.
Objection.
But the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him.
That's true. Or, in his precise words,
Just as I picked up the firearm to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me.
I don't know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me. No mistake. Because it was me that kicked the door open.
If you look again at the floor plan, consider what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. That can't. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible.
Good gracious!
My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw. He really did look like he took psychic damage there.
Order! Order! Counsel, how has this not come to light before now?
After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleague saw it when investigating the room.
Witness, what have you to say for yourself?
What? Me, my lord?
You and your fellows were there at the scene before anyone else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board.
The witnesses in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime.
Stop looking over your glasses at me. I get the message.
Alright, here we go. Mystery of the moving board.
I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all.
I don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time.
I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me, just a sign of the crossroads of life.
It was a weeper, I bet. He's got a face that screams bored.
I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot.
Alright, we're gonna press the shit out of all of that.
So none of you can elaborate further.
taken by the crime they witnessed and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see. You can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened.
That's right, yeah. It don't pay to expect too much.
It's man endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think.
Do you? Really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could have possibly committed this crime is Beric Van Zieks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact.
Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances?
Most certainly, my lord.
Very well, then you may proceed, counsel.
Okay. Here we go. Don't know anything about that there notice board. Just wiped my hand on it. Don't look at me, I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. Let's talk about that. When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks?
Yeah, what else? There's the primary school just round the corner, see? Oops. Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow their school to Kingdom Come. So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, who wouldn't want anyone to get hurt? So I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all their fireworks off them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone's happy, see?
What a racket.
Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's busy all life selling explosives.
And this is a guileful goddess indeed.
Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it.
Excuse me.
Well, that was fast. Oh! Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich.
If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it?
No. Did Miss Venus's statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
I'm a rabbit liar. Listen to what I say.
Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. Let's say there was a great liar, and that great liar said without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too? Or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one. Don't you think?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying. Are you?
What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that, and I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about.
That's murder. That would 100% kill this old man. And probably a lot of young men, too.
You're starting the disturbing mind behind that sweet innocent face, young lady.
Yeah, can we stop threatening this old man, please? So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich?
Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Can you elaborate, please, sir?
Old Blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshots seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. That rotten liar over there. Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all?
What'd I tell you, eh?
I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I? Yes, you mentioned it.
Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it?
We knew firecrackers packed such a punch.
So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief.
Well, now you come to mention it, I suppose perhaps. I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah.
Either you clearly remember it or you don't.
Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Oh yes, my lord, of course. Yeah, I did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek in the room where it all happened.
What did you see?
For fuck's sake!
You get a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus?
Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, I'd take everything I say with a big pinch of salt.
Alright, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you?
Oh, please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying.
The truth, please.
Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know.
Did you touch anything at the scene?
Oh, please, as if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor.
The truth, please.
Well, alright, just a bit then. I had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once-over, but it was nothing to write home about.
Right. Now, I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you?
Oh, please, as if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had.
The truth, please.
Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. Well, I blasted the flipping thing. Sorry, flip the bastard thing.
You're telling us that you did move that board? I love this sprite. Him leaning over the fucking desk like, what? The fuck is wrong with you? Are you serious? That's great. Can we just kill her and be done with it? Why are we listening to her at this point? Really? She can't stop lying.
I think that did slip out, didn't it?
Well, you deaf barn pipe.
Hey, I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think.
So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps? To sell?
Oh, please, I should be so lucky. Am I imagining?
The truth now!
I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you ask. Ah,
Oh,
so it was you, was it? You're the one who took it.
Gina?
Young lady, may I remind you where you are?
That watch there, that was the present of Inspector Gregson from the yard, for a big case he solved 10 years ago. The Professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub.
Gina, kill her! Do it now! You're the only one who can! You're the only one who can get away with it! I see.
I swiped it off and wanted to buy me, and blimey was he upset. He gave me a right earful. So he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. And make the whole, and went to wonder him, that watch did.
Possibly not the best thing to go diving for, then.
It's not all that, though. I took it to Jabez. Did not ask how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it. Ah, I knew I should have lifted it.
That watch must be submitted as evidence at once.
Oh, please, just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again.
That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith.
Now, children, watch your manners.
Good Lord. The glass appears to be broken.
More than likely, it shattered when the inspector was shot.
Doesn't tick anymore either. which is why James didn't want it. What a waste, eh?
Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour of 5.
Exactly when the gunshot was heard then.
Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course.
Right? Love it.
Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved at least.
Hang on. Let me take a look at this. Anything on the back? Ah, damn it. Ooh, what's this? Ah, there's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see?
Oh yes, that's probably for the winder to use to wind up the mechanism.
It looks a little unusual, don't you think?
Yes, you need just the right key to wind it, I imagine.
Why do I always feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit in this hole.
It would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we've already found.
Ooh, okay. Also, the top of this is broken off. There's a tiny little stub sticking up from this small hole here, look.
I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time.
In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of his watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it?
Yes, of course.
Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. That Strongheart stopwatch? Oh, maybe. I mean, it does look like it. It's kind of hard to tell. You don't really get a good look at Strongheart's stopwatch, but that might come down to it. That's a good detail. Something like a key that we apparently have. Not this. Oh, no, we never checked this.
The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear.
I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody was enjoying twisted around. Someone has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Try twisting it around and around too, for fun. What the hell? Ah, what's that?
It appears to be some sort of key.
But it's tiny though. Couldn't be a key for a door. Not at that size. But what is it for, I wonder? Here we go, okay. He's a tripod. You have a third body, yes? Hey, Arsai, finally done the day. How's our favorite lawyer game? It's going good. We're making good progress. We haven't made any dumb mistakes yet, and we're currently unraveling the secret mechanism of a pocket watch. So the mystery is pretty dang thick so far. All right, so if I do this again now. Okay, never mind. The glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look.
What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully.
I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you? I love time pieces. You know, I kind of like him as well.
Yes, I should think so.
Very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact.
But kindly remember that he's a great detective too, Mr. Naruhodo. Not an odd job man.
Nah, it's pretty fucking odd, I think. Do I have to investigate the key specifically? I didn't look at the end of it. Mr. Sada, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch? There we go, that's what I did.
Oh, yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose.
Meanwhile, the judge is like, what the fuck are you doing over there? Can you stop futzing with the evidence, please?
I knew it. A perfect fit.
And look, the inspector's watch has started going again.
Ah, so it's obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Mr. Sada?
Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications.
It's deep in thought now. Perhaps I better start thinking deeply too. Okay. So this no longer supports the prosecution's claim that it stopped when inspector got shot.
Repeal the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved at least.
And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case.
Now then, continue with the cross-examination, please, counsel.
Okay. Base that screams 4. Let's see if this changes anything anyway. Let's press this. I think this might be the thing that pops open. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it?
Maybe the notice board fell over, maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because of that gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too.
My fate? That's right. The defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win. It said so in my horoscope this morning. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of their story.
Maybe possible to change all our fates.
Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it?
Not much to go on.
As you pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have done it.
It did happen after the event, so maybe Kazuma is right, and it's not relevant to the case.
But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of this.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I've no doubt that there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track, I can feel it. So follow your instincts.
Alright then. And I'll keep pressing. It's fine.
Hold it!
What's this? But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you?
Fresno Street is my whole world. That's all I know, and I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold my sign up high.
So you did go to see what had happened.
It's not the destination that's important. It's how you get there, isn't it?
Did you notice the notice board in the room?
If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both different members of the sign family. So if I'd spotted it, I might have tried to trip it out of a sense of rivalry, I admit.
Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo sinians. Oof. Does that mean that you didn't notice the board?
Oh, I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life. In which case, just who was responsible for moving the notice board?
I mean, we already know, but... Let's press this just in case.
Hold it!
What exactly do you mean by that?
Oh, come on now. Don't tell us you haven't noticed. You look like he hates everything in the world, that fella. But not notice boards. They're the one thing he likes. You can see it in his eyes.
I can't say I'd ever noticed.
I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off that man on the floor. Or off the Reaper. Not for a second.
Sorry?
Well, I was just scared. I couldn't. You never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, do you?
If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board.
By that I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort. I can swear to that. I couldn't have missed it. If we heaved the thing upright again and dragged it into the corner.
Right. Glad we've cleared that up. What happened to the face that screams bored? I feel your pain, Kazuma. Detective still died when we heard the gunshot. I might be able to actually present on this. Because they're saying that the watch broke when he got shot, but that's not actually the case. Yeah, we already know who moved it, but their press statements haven't changed because those don't get updated. I think we can present here?
Objection!
Okay, we can. Cool. Oh! I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key. And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. Ow! And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. What? Another D4 psychic damage. I can't keep taking this.
Order. But Counsel, the watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah, which is just why we added the gunshot.
It is exactly the hour.
Wait,
The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection.
Oh, even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed.
Objection.
No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago.
the boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his friend to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. And it meant the world to him, that watch did.
The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well.
Yes, that would be entirely reasonable.
But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day.
Oh, why? Well, how do you explain it then?
In summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean. What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead.
Order, order! Counsel, that is a most extraordinary claim!
Objection.
Extraordinary isn't the word, it's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before. Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well,
On that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted.
that's right.
Wait a minute, you're forgetting the white lights went in front of me when I kicked the door in.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I planted my hand in a dirty great puddle of blood.
Yes, so the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh.
Catches on flesh, doesn't he?
Objection.
But that blood could be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Someone put Inspector Grayson's blood there after? Really, Renosuke? Does my learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner?
Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human.
The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities.
Yeah, why did he start with my learned friend? That's a very Barrick Van Zeeks thing to say. I don't think he's fully there still. I think something's still up with Kazuma. Something's not right. He's acting weird. They brought it up earlier that he was acting up, acting up weirdly. So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example.
It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Okay, why though?
Objection.
That's what it's gonna come down to, is why. Oh, but the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. Is it though? What? Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all.
Oh, please, what are you trying to say?
It's not low what we heard. It was a loud bang that came from that there room.
Now you listen to me. A street seller's ears are his livelihood.
I don't doubt your ears, sir. I am a little concerned about your whip, but... Alright. But all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise.
Yeah? Explain yourself then, Council.
A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with... oh. Firecrackers.
Take that!
Well, the culprit could have used something like this, for example.
Oh, really? That demonstrates his order then, I feel.
What? Yes, please show the court how you could use that to create a noise like a gunshot.
We're waiting, Council.
I may have been mistaken. It looks like you've been making a lot of noise yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, okay, apparently that's not it. I guess they did say that those were not strong enough to sound like a gunshot earlier. Asimon's got a devastating way with words in English, too.
I realize it may be difficult to retract what you said and present some different evidence, but perhaps...
Yes, I was thinking the same thing myself. Oh, that's because I'm convinced there is some evidence that could produce a similar noise.
Explain yourself then, Council.
Okay, if it's not that, can we examine this revolver to see if there's a shot missing? We should probably do that. But this is the type of revolver that's standard issue for members of the members of the judiciary. Then, why are you arming the lawyers?
Yes, when I asked about whether records are kept about who they're issued to, I was told that for the past 5 years, they've been engraved with a unique serial number.
Oh, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing like that on this gun.
Which tells us that it must have been issued longer ago than that.
Oh, okay. Can I open it, please? A big fat fucking no. Cool. Swell. Okay. See, I see. I think it's time for a save. Yeah, the fireworks were not the answer, and I was very sure about it. So, I don't imagine it's the gun, because they've said that's the murder weapon, and that is the opposite of what I am trying to prove. So what else made a bang? The notice board falling over? I thought about that, but the problem is that they heard it before they went into the room. So it was upwards when they went into the room, and then they opened the door and knocked it over. So I don't think that's it, unless we're trying to now disprove the thing we just proved earlier. It'd be a little odd. What is this in here? Nothing. Oh, do I have to examine this first? Before I can... I think the fireworks might have been it, but I had to light it first and then test to see if it could sound like a gunshot before I could actually present it as evidence.
Have you had an idea, Mr. Naruhodo? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks.
Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus Special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Yeah, this is exactly what I had to do.
Shall we find out?
What? But you said it could blow up the courtroom. All right. It was a fairly sizable bang.
My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruhodo. Sound was almost exactly like...
Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's what I do. That's what I do. Had the right idea, just had to examine it. Something like this. The culprit could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot.
Good gracious, the very fireworks that are sold by the witness?
Now hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway. See?
Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. You're trying to suggest that somebody set off one of those fireworks off at the scene. I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day, and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear. Maybe it's your voice acting, but I trust these three less and less as time goes by. Honestly, I mean, one of them has already been proving to be a compulsive liar, so I think that's them just being extremely untrustworthy.
Objection.
Oh. But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barrick Von Zeeks.
One whiff of a match, my firecrackers go pop. See? It's why people like them.
I feel for your fingers, young lady.
Objection.
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb.
Good heavens, a bomb?
Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like.
Mr. Gerardo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident.
No, wait, it's the whenever you like part that's important. A timed device. Extended fuse, yeah. You posted it right as they started to talk about a time bomb. Yes, exactly, a timed device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left.
Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a time device was employed to create the gunshot sound?
Is it the candles? That's the best idea I've got. I have no idea how to prove this otherwise. Yeah, where one was blown off. Maybe. Did that of the pocket watch, maybe? The only things I have that really relate to time. Yeah, we used a key on the watch already. That was for that was how we proved that it wasn't actually broken and didn't break when he got shot. So we've gone through that already. I think it might be the candles here. I'll go for it. We have quite a few lives left at this point. I was right. As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum has been blown off.
Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim.
I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible. Why? Because of the scorching. Oh, that's what we're doing? Oh, you know what? That does make sense. I noticed that beforehand, but I didn't fully clock it in this instance. Yeah, that makes sense. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle.
There are? Goodness, yes. But is it not the case that there was also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound?
That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun.
Ah,
Oh! Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks.
how could that be, eh?
The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or to put it another way, a candle and firecrackers were joined together. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burnt down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud that noise. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe that they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock.
Well, what a plot. And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe. Previous day, even.
No, just hold your horses. Oliver saw the victim going into the building, remember?
I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair even if I wanted to.
The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Obviously, anybody can wear a wig, but the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece.
Someone else? Do you mean to say?
It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? This is another new song, I think. I also noted the lack of a time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. Thank you for the tangent. This doesn't relate to the case.
Order! Prosecutor Asogi! What on earth do you mean by that statement?
I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. So we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But, while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it. Again, he's calling me his learned friend.
Well, certainly I would agree with you.
And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing, and where did he go on the day before the incident? Where did he come from, in fact? I ask again, where did he go? Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Do you know? I do not know, Cotton Eye Joe. This inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Even within the yard?
However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent with what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend?
I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating.
Yes, I agree. Surely. Oh, my lord. The defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death.
Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident? That's a hell of a fucking mouthful.
I mean, probably this one? My gut goes to the professor case, but I don't think we can prove that. Or is it the notice board? Probably the notice board. It's covered with fucking evidence. That would make the most amount of sense.
Take that!
I can't say that I thought.
Okay, it wasn't that. Cool. a fucking corkboard full of evidence of previous cases. And that's not the answer. Alright, I guess it's the frame photograph. Alright, never mind, I figured it out. Please don't hurt me again.
Take that!
It's not that either? What? Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I thought it was a 50-50, but I've been wrong on 2 counts now. A particular piece of evidence that really does stand out in showing what case Inspector Gregson was investigating. Well, this was at the scene, and that's not the answer. And this was at the scene, and that's also not the answer. I'm trying to figure out, apparently we're trying to figure out what Gregson was investigating on the day of the incident. And there's a piece of evidence I have that points to what he was investigating, and it's not this framed photograph, and it's not this corkboard full of evidence. So... Yeah, I guess maybe the red hair piece? We can try it. I have a save.
Take that!
Oh, it is. Okay. I believe this red hair piece points to the answer. I don't know what case this involves, though. That's the weird part. Time to roll a die. Oh, God. I do have a d20. Multiple, in fact. The latest piece on the corkboard was about the red group. Oh, I forgot about that. Good catch. Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about that detail. I believe this red hair piece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation.
Surely not. Such a badly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable.
Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League?
So, you'd already worked it out.
What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen?
Nice reference. The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception.
A deception of what nature, Counsel?
They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. I think Kazuma knows more than he's letting on. I get the feeling, based on his little, like, outburst that he had, that he's trying to prove that the British justice system is not all it's cracked up to be. Like, he's trying to lose on purpose, but, like, in a way that draws attention to everything. I think. Possibly because he's trying to retry the case, the professor case. I think my current theory is that he wants to retry that case with new evidence to prove that it wasn't his father who was the professor, and that he was framed or unjustly accused or whatever. Like, save his honor or something. That's my current theory. We'll see if that holds up. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once.
2 redheads?
Oh! Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece, so it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. and it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events.
I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least.
Prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these two red-headed lead conspirators before me, Prosecutor Osogi.
At once, my lord.
Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned.
All right, perfect. We made it through. To be continued. All right. Well, that is a good place to stop for Great Ace Attorney. So that's where we're going to stop. I'll actually save it over this as well because I never updated this. I like to use one save slot for the start of the episode and then one for mid-game saves, just in case I want to go back. Cliffhanger, yeah, baby. That's what Great Ace Attorney does best. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up here for Great Ace Attorney, so we'll stop the recording here. YouTube, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.